Want to be a topper in MBA entrance exams? Join BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and watch serial 99 percentilers teaching you the tips and tricks.
Good noon, all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to all of you. Right, so an MHCT session today. No, wait, today is a CAT session, CAT and MHCT. So today we are going to talk about vocabulary. Tomorrow there's an MHCT session. Okay, so because I was just creating that session for tomorrow, that's why it was running in my mind. Right. Good noon, Harry. Hello, good afternoon, Nairomancy. Good noon, Roosters. Good afternoon, Dharmi. Hi, Tanvi. Good afternoon. Right. So today we come with the part 3, the third part of our vocabulary for aptitude tests, right? We've already had 2 sessions on it. In those 2 sessions, again, I taught you 50, again, more than 50, I think, vocabulary words we learned. Yes. So, and the idea was to learn them through different question types. So we've seen different question types also. So today also we are going to do the same thing. Okay. And I'll time you today again, just like I did in part 1, and let's see how many of us are able to answer various question types in the given time frame, right? You will end up learning more than 50 words, rest assured. Okay, good noon, Abhilasha, Pranita, Ananjan. Hi, Om, good noon. Hello, Vicky. Hi, Pranit, Praveen. Okay. So, I hope that apart from this also you've been working on your vocabulary. I'm sure that many of you did pick up Word Par Made Easy after I told you about it. Yes, because that alone, that book alone will itself add about 1200 plus vocabulary words to your current pool of vocabulary, right? Apart from that, I think you would have learned 100 plus words from the previous 2 sessions. We will add 50 more today. Okay, so add as many words as you can to your current pool of vocabulary because they will come handy when you actually face the questions in the exam. Having said that, a lot of students ask me whether Word Par Made Easy is sufficient for vocabulary. See, nothing can ever be sufficient for vocabulary. Vocabulary is not, there's no defined set of words in English that once you learn them, you're through. Okay, so nothing will ever be sufficient as such. Yes, yet you can master as many high frequency words as you can because those are the ones that are usually asked in your exams, right? So today also the endeavor has been to bring high frequency words for you. Okay? All right. Hello, Bharti, Mamta, Nicole, Aishwarya. Hi, Priya. Okay. So good noon. Let's begin. And the first question type that will hit your screens is a closed test. Okay, I think some of you might have already seen a glimpse. Okay, so there are this is a closed test and there are 3 questions based on it. And I'll give you about, I think 30 seconds to read the sentence first, and then you will have 20 seconds to attempt the questions. I think 20 to 25 seconds, that's what I've timed it like. So ample time to go through and answer the questions. Please pay attention to the context. Very important, okay? Look at the surrounding words, look at the tone, look at what is being talked about, and then answer, right? So here's your first question. Start. So you must have got a rough sense of what the paragraph is about, right? It's a paragraph. Now, natural theology is what it talks about, right? I want you to pay special attention to some words. I'm not going to tell them to you right now, but I'll reread this and tell you what all we need to focus on in such questions. Meanwhile, first of all, you attempt the first question here. Tell me what should be the answer. Let's see what you say for the first question. Hi Priya, thank you. Same here. Good afternoon, Vishal. Hi Snolly Goster. Good noon, Sanil, Radhika. Right. So the first question, what do you say? Okay, Vicky has answered the fastest. B. During the past millennium, the arguments for natural theology, all of us understand the study of God. Theo means God, logy means study. So the study of religion, natural theology, trying to find God naturally in nature, right? That would be natural theology. So during the past millennium, the arguments for natural theology were about much more than proving God's existence. So it wasn't like they were just out to prove God's existence. Natural theology was much more than that, right? Now, natural theology advocates. So this word was important here. Let me just highlight this. Natural theology advocates. When I say this, people who support natural theology, the proponents of natural theology, they were not writing to merely dash atheists. Atheists, people who do not believe in God. Yes. So, what would natural theology advocates want? These people believe in natural theology. They believe in a God through nature. So, what would they want? Would they want to instigate atheists? Some of you answered A, instigate. To incite someone, to provoke someone, किसी को भड़काना, that is instigate. Okay, incite, provoke. Would they want to provoke them? Doesn't this word have a negative connotation? Okay, coax atheists. All right, coax is to persuade someone. Okay, to persuade someone into doing something. Okay, to cajole, to coax, right? Has again a slightly negative connotation when you coax someone to do something. Then, exterminate. Exterminate. Oh my god. What is exterminate? See, Yukta, you said see. To remove them from the face of earth. Exterminate. To basically kill all of them. That is exterminate. So, no, they don't want that to destroy completely or to kill. Right, it's not that, because the other sentences don't give this impression, no, that they are very extreme people, these natural theologists. So I think C should have been eliminated. Now, in case you do not have the idea of this word exterminate, I think you can make a random guess, okay, or you could focus on the other options. So it has terminate in it, so something related to removing, right? So that once that is clear, you realize that okay, it's not about removing people. Yes. So C could be eliminated going by that indirect approach, or you could, let's say, focus on the other options. Maybe some of them are better fits, right? So I think A we have eliminated, C we have eliminated, B I still haven't eliminated. Let's look at D and E. Dissuade. Dissuade. Okay. So atheists do not believe in God. Atheists do not believe in God. Okay. All right. Okay, so if I dissuade them, that means I'm trying to tell them that, see, probably what you feel, what you believe is not that right. I'm trying to dissuade you from, let's say, becoming a non-believer, from staying a non-believer, right? So dissuade does make sense in the first blank. Dissuade does make sense. So again, I'm keeping it in the fold along with B. Mandate. Mandate, can they make something compulsory for atheists? Do they have that sort of a power, these natural theologists? No. So I think A, C, E. See, whenever you are given five options, no, in any exam, be it MHCT, be it that, okay, two to three of these options can be easily eliminated. Right? They're framed in such a way. Ultimately, usually it comes down to two close options, except when it's a highly difficult question. Right? So I have got out of B and D, I have got some B's. Oniromancy says D. All right. So Oniromancy, what did you think before saying D? Nicole, what was your thought process before saying D? Yes. Want to know this? So Can you please explain dissuade again? Yes, dissuade is the opposite of persuade, Aishwarya. It's the opposite of persuade. When you persuade someone, so for instance, if I am persuading atheists, I am trying to make them do something, I am trying to convince them into doing something. Okay, when I'm trying to dissuade them, so again, basically, see, these are atheists, these are non-believers. So if I persuade them, in a way, I am encouraging them. Persuade, the opposite is encourage. Dissuade, persuade, the meaning is encourage. Dissuade, the meaning is discourage. So if you are a theologist, if you are someone who believes in God, will you encourage atheists or will you discourage atheists? So that's why I included this option coax, because a lot of students think that persuade fits here. So if let's say after this I had followed it up by saying persuade atheists into becoming believers, into becoming theists. Okay, theists are believers in God. Then yes, persuade would make sense. But here, without any object, without any such object, I would want to discourage an atheist as a theologist and not encourage. Right? So this one has to be dissuade and not coax. Okay, D Delhi is the answer and not B Bangalore. Pretty opposite words. We had to be very careful what comes here. The level of this cloze test is difficult, not an easy cloze test, right? The level is difficult. Okay, so what we are dealing with currently is that IIFT level cloze test. Okay, all right. So I hope this is clear to everybody. The meanings of the words instigate, coax, exterminate, mandate, dissuade. Right? Dissuade is the opposite of persuade. It means to discourage. Next question on your screens. Distract. Okay, sorry for interrupting in between. Distract is not a synonym of dissuade. Dissuade is to, I'm not trying to distract them, to divert their attention. I am trying to discourage them actively. Right? Okay, next question now. Let's attempt this. Okay. Their foils, their attempts were other religious believers. Their foils were other religious believers. What are foils? We've all heard of foil paper, but in what sense am I using it here? Foil. She foiled that plan. Yes. What would that mean if someone foils a plan? Basically, it's an attempt to prevent someone from doing something. It's an attempt to prevent someone from doing something. Okay. So that is a foil. Just a second. All right. Was there a, I think the video paused for a moment for me. All right. So A, B, E. Okay. I'm getting a lot of E's here. All right. So their foils. Foil is an attempt wherein you try to prevent something from happening. You are trying to prevent something from happening. So their foils were other religious believers. Okay, their foils were, yes, foils are like speed breakers, correct. Were other religious believers. So in case you knew the meaning of foils, no, that would have helped you even for the first blank, because we are preventing something from happening. So we are preventing people from becoming atheists. You get it? So they were not writing to merely prevent atheists in a way. Their foils were other religious believers. Okay, because see, natural theology is a branch of theology. These guys believe that God can be found in nature. So there are other believers also who believe in other types of gods and not just the nature God. So their attempt was to prevent these other religious believers from, let's say, staying true to their other religion or other belief, whose dash differences. So of course, these other religious believers would have some differences in their thought and their beliefs, whose dash differences might be arbitrated, might be settled, might be settled by the public evidence of dash signs. So through signs, they are trying to dash the difference. They are trying to basically uh, convince these other religious believers that come to our side. They're trying to dissuade them from staying on the other side. That's the idea here, right? So what kind of differences would they hold? Dash differences. कैसे differences होंगे in other religious believers के from natural theologists? If I am talking about settling these differences, if I am talking about settling these differences, that means they are not irreconcilable in the first place. Irreconcilable, something that you cannot settle. The kind of difference, the kind of dispute that you cannot settle is irreconcilable. Yes, people file for divorces citing irreconcilable differences. You must have heard this word in that context. Yes, so irreconcilable would be an extreme word here, considering that we are thinking of settling these differences by showing some evidence, right? So arbitrated, see, knowing the meanings of the surrounding words, foil here, okay, or foils, the plural has been used, arbitrated, that also helps. Surrounding words help a lot. So differences might be arbitrated. Okay. So chimerical, imaginary, chimera. Chimera, all of you must have heard. Good noon, okay. All right, Kashish, no issues. That's a very unique excuse actually. Some of you might use it in your other classrooms. Uh, Gaurav, not much. We are on our second question for the day. Okay, right, right. So I am just looking at some of your messages. All right. So I've got E again, B and E. Okay, B and E. ठीक है. So chimerical, chimera. You must have heard this word, chimera. Yes, it's a mythical creature, a very fascinating mythical creature. Mythology. What? How does it look like? Chimera. Yes. So Greek mythology has a lot of such creatures. Okay. In fact, mythology has a lot of such creatures which are a combination of other creatures. So centaurs, manticores, these are all mythological creatures, right? Now, in case of a chimera, it's a monster. Okay, it has a lion's head, it has a goat's body, and a serpent's tail. So pretty scary, right? And it is said that it breathes fire. However, chimera today, in what sense do we use this word? A thing that is imaginary, something that is impossible to achieve, something that is imaginary, right? So I hope this is clear to you what a chimera is. Here I have used it in the sense of imaginary. Imaginary, right? Chimerical means something that is impossible to achieve, that is imaginary in nature, right? Imaginary, impossible to achieve. It's a chimerical dream. That means you can't really achieve it. Okay, so this again does not make sense. Their differences are very real differences. They are not imaginary differences, right? So A and C eliminated. So see, you have to again have read a little or have, in fact, even if you've seen some mythological movies, then probably you could have an idea of chimera. Irreconcilable differences. So see, I heard it first in the context of divorces, celebrity divorces, right? So the more you are aware of your surroundings, whether by reading, by listening, okay, by watching, the better you will be at vocabulary, right? Consistent differences. Isn't this an oxymoron? Consistent differences. Constant differences, I understand that constantly they've been having these differences. Consistent differences, that's an oxymoron. If something is consistent, that means it's not different. Okay, does not make sense. Similarly, when I say disparate differences, what is disparate? Disparate. Things that are not similar, that are not at par. Disparate. Disparate means different. Okay, if I say these are two disparate objects, that means two very different objects. So disparate differences is redundancy. This is redundant. Okay. The answer is B, Bangalore. Doctrinal. Okay. B, Bangalore. Doctrinal. Very good. Those who said B, Anand, Bharti, Mamta, Vicky, Aditya. You guys said B. Okay. And I think some of you earlier as well. Pranita, Vishal, if I'm correct. Or was it for the previous question? Sanil also said B. Okay. So disparate, different. Yes, it's used for various also. Correct. Various is also a synonym for disparate. Right. However, when you talk about differences that various believers will hold, again, look at it contextually. You believe in a certain religion, I believe in a certain religion, let's say, right? So, our differences are going to be differences of doctrine, doctrinal differences, principles, religious principles, wale differences. So, what are doctrines? Certain beliefs that you hold, certain principles that you follow, right? So, our differences are going to be differences of belief, differences of principles. So in that case also, even if you take the meaning to be various, then also B is the best fit. Okay. All right. And I have picked up this closed test. I have created this closed test from an article from the Aeon only. So this tells me how many of you are reading, how many of you have been reading Aeon, and how many of you haven't been. So this is from an article called God Beyond Logic. I created another question from this in another session of ours, a previous session of ours, right? So, yes, the answer is doctrinal. I hope the meanings of other words are clear to you. They were not very difficult words, to be honest. Next question 3. Tell me, might be arbitrated, settled by the public evidence of dash signs. Public evidence of dash signs. This is not difficult at all. Doctrinal, related to doctrines, beliefs, related to principles, that is doctrinal. Okay, so there are a number of words from it. Indoctrination, the word doctor is also related to it. So basically a belief, that those beliefs that are held by, let's say, religion, by some political group, etc., they are called the doctrines, right? Clear now, Anna? Chaya, the meaning of doctrinal, a set of beliefs held by a particular religious or political group. D, Delhi, okay. This one is easy, yes, I told you. Okay, most of you are saying D. Absolutely correct. D, Delhi is the answer here. We are talking about science, okay, and we are going to show some evidence. We have learned the word empirical in one of our previous sessions. Empirical means related to observation, something that has been observed. Okay, observational evidence. So that is the only fit here. That is the only fit here. Speculative, if it is speculating, if it is just making guesses, if it is conjecturing, again making guesses. So guessing, okay, guessing. Then how can you give evidence of that kind of science? Yes? C, eliminated. Notional, again, notion is an idea that you hold. It may or may not be true. Okay, notional, ideas that you hold, which may or may not be true. Prodigious, it's not related to this discussion at all. Yes, unanimous answer. Yes. Prodigious, prodigy. It's related to prodigy actually. Prodigious science. Prodigious use of this, let's say, technology. Prodigious is a very clever, a very inventive use of something. That is prodigious. Prodigy, that's why a highly talented child is called a child prodigy. Okay, talented beyond their age. Talented, usually beyond one's age. That person is called a prodigy. Prodigy is a noun. Prodigious is the adjective. Very clever, inventive use of something. Right? Hope this is clear. Yes, Sanil, absolutely. Something that's based on experimentation, okay, observation, that is empirical. Right? So, we've learned some words through this closed test, and we've also learned how to make use of contextual vocabulary. Words like foil, differences, arbitrated, evidence, signs, they all worked to tell us what should have come in various blanks, right? And the first one was a really tricky question because of coax and dissuade. You had to get what the natural theologists would want from the atheists, okay? And The second one was fine. I think it was not a very difficult question. So it was moderate. I can call it moderate. And the third one was easy. So all question levels in one question type. Okay, let's come to the next question type. Okay, easy question. And again, I've given you 30 seconds. Okay, so let's try to stick to our time frame. Yes, analogy. Limpid is to murky. 5 options. You have to find out the similar relationship. Let's see. Limpid is to murky. What relationship do they have? Mandate is to make something compulsory, Priya. Okay, to make it mandatory. Okay, and mandate is used as a noun also. So when you have some official order to do something, you say, I have the mandate to do this. Okay, it's also used as a noun. I have the mandate. That means I have the official order to do this. Right? So C, all right. That's what you say. Good. Good, good, good. Just a second, just a second. This is a similar relationship, no? Yes. Okay. So, just one thing. An error on my part. You guys are absolutely correct. C should be the answer here. Okay. Limpid is no. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Limpid is something that's clear. Murky, on the other hand, is something that's muddy. That's unclear, right? Okay. So clear, muddy, opposites, antonyms. Right. Now, bright, gloomy. Bright is to gloomy. Again, they are antonymous. Okay. So if I say, in fact, I can use it for weather also. Bright weather, gloomy weather. Yes. So bright is to gloomy, opposites. Again, antonyms. So this is the answer. Now I shouldn't have actually made this option. I added this option later on because limp is to energetic. They are also in a way opposites. Limp is when, let's say, a limp handshake, a handshake that lacks energy. So they are also in a way antonyms. So I shouldn't have added this option. Just assume that there were these 4 options only, right? I didn't notice bright is to gloomy actually. Okay, so C is the answer. C is the answer. Yes, lucid. Lucid is used primarily for our words. Okay, it is used for clear expression, clear arguments, clear expression. Okay, pellucid. Pellucid is something that is used for clear in a general sense. For instance, clear water will be called pellucid water and not lucid water. Okay, lucid is used for arguments. So pellucid and limpid, they are synonyms. Pellucid, limpid both mean clear and they are synonyms. Right? So now let's look at the other words. Dazed. What does dazed mean? Is it related to clouded? Yes, dazed. If someone is in a daze. So this person is unable to think properly. Yes, at that moment they are just not able to process things very well. They are stupefied. Okay, so dazed and clouded can be used. Okay, her judgment was clouded. When I say that her judgment was clouded, in that sense, yes, I am saying that she was not able to take that decision properly. So dazed, clouded in a metaphorical sense, they are synonymous rather than being antonymous. So this cannot be the answer, of course. Okay, so here figuring out the relationship matters a lot. You know this for analogy. Obscure is to vague. Again, sort of synonyms. Obscure is something that's unclear, hidden, basically hidden, unclear. Right. Okay. Then, nebulous is to dim. Nebulous. Nebula. A star before being formed when it is just a cloud of gases is called nebula, if I'm right. Okay, so nebulous basically is again something that's unclear and in its initial stages. In its initial stages and unclear. In its initial stages and unclear. So again, dim would also be something that's unclear. So sort of synonyms. So here, good. This was not a very difficult question if you had even some idea about these words, okay? And C is your answer, right? So as I told you, this analogy question was not difficult. Lucid dreams, yes, lucid dreams. You should find out more about these. A very interesting psychological phenomenon, lucid dreaming. These sessions, yes, Harsh, they happen. The sessions for VARC happen from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. I mean, it depends. Basically, at 12 p.m., you meet me from Tuesday to Saturday. Okay, Tuesday to Saturday, they happen regularly. Okay, then coming to Uh, Acha. So you've just commented. Okay, nebulous, obscure, vague, ambiguous. Absolutely. They are synonyms, Anuja. Correct, correct. All right. So now coming to our next question is an antonym question. Okay. So synonym antonyms, they are the staple of various vocabulary exams. Okay. Not just, let's say, MHCET, not just IFT. So any non-CAT exam can ask you direct vocabulary questions, and they are usually asked in various non-CAT exams. Right. So let's have a look. Antonym, not difficult. Again, ample time to attempt this question. I think I gave you 30 seconds. So, by now, all of you must have read all the options and figured out the answer as well, right? C, okay. So, has this ever happened with you? This has happened with me twice or thrice, and it's very spooky that you're dreaming, okay? Then you wake up and then you're trying to make sense of your dream. But you haven't actually woken up. You are still, it's in your dream only that you think that you've woken up and now you're processing your dream. You are still sleeping only, okay? And then you finally wake up and you realize, oh my God, when I thought that I had woken up, I hadn't really woken up. Even that was a dream. So this happened with me twice or thrice. And the first time it happened, it was really spooky. So just wanted to know if it has happened with any of you. C, okay, E, B, AE, all right, multiple options, but I've got quite a few C's, I can say that from your responses. So, infallible, someone who is infallible, right? That person cannot be defeated. Okay, that person cannot be defeated. Invincible, that person is invincible, right? So, here I want an antonym. You had to pay attention to this. So, tarnished, okay, let's keep it in the fold. Immaculate. Yes, it is said that Jesus had an immaculate, basically, Mother Mary had an immaculate conception, right? Flawless. Immaculate is flawless. Okay. Immaculate conception. That means she conceived Jesus without sex. So that's sort of seen as flawless in Christianity, right? So immaculate, flawless, something that's impeccable. You must have heard this word also, impeccable. Uh, Dependable, okay, does not really relate to either, infallible is a, just like it's a positive word, relatively positive word, so is dependable, somebody you can trust. Okay. So, no, this cannot be an antonym. Efficacious, yes, efficacious, yes, efficacious. Something that's, the word has efficacy in it, effectiveness, efficiency, it has to be related to that. Yes, so it means something that's effective. So even if you don't know the exact meaning, just see that it has efficacy. If it's related, it looks like it's related to effective or efficient. So again, efficacious is again a positive word and cannot be an antonym of infallible, right? So we are left with imperfect and we are left with tarnished. Which one do you think is a better fit, A or C? infallible, somebody who is invincible, let's say, somebody who is incapable of making mistakes. Yes, somebody who is flawless. So, tarnished can be used in a literal sense also. If something is dirty, you call it tarnished, right? So, metals have this property that sometimes they corrode and then the thing gets tarnished, right? Whichever utensil has that metal. So, tarnished can be used in other contexts also, but infallible means somebody who's not you can't that person cannot make mistakes. Okay, that person is flawless. So imperfect is the exact opposite, and that's why, yes, you are right, C is the answer here, right? C is the answer. So we learned a new word, efficacious, here. Immaculate, tarnished, something that's dirty, right? Tarnished, something that has flaws in it. Okay. In that sense, basically we talk about it in a metaphorical sense when we say his reputation was tarnished. His reputation was tarnished. Right, that means uski reputation par daag lag gaya. That's the idea, right? So I hope the meanings of these words are clear to you. Okay, some of you are saying, okay, Kashish, it has happened with you. Sonali, all right, it has happened. Okay. So yes, in Inception also they've shown something similar. I haven't seen the movie. Every time I think of watching it, I feel like I don't have that kind of brain bandwidth to, because a lot of times I think about watching a movie to relax. That's why I haven't seen it. But yes, it's also about a dream within a dream within a dream. That's the thing. Okay, great to know that it has happened with others also. All right. Coming to contextual vocabulary, there's a word that has been highlighted and underlined. Tell me its synonym. Yes. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. Anyone who remembers this stanza? Yes, tarnished image. Correct, correct. Sonali, Kashish. So, I've got some answers already. Anybody who recalls this stanza from school? Okay, C. All right. Ruminative. Absolutely. So even though I've got a few responses only, but all of you say C. Pensive means thoughtful, ruminative, reflective, introspective. Correct. So C is the answer here. Now, you see oblivious, inattentive. Oblivious also means when you're so lost in thought that you become unaware of your surroundings. That is when you're oblivious to your surroundings. We say that. But pensive does not have a negative connotation. These two have a negative connotation, right? He was oblivious to what was happening around him, right? Inattentive, these are negative, whereas pensive just means thoughtful, ruminative, reflective. It's a word that has a relatively, I mean, it's not negative, right? Now, facile, facile, you can pronounce it in any way, both are correct, okay? So, facile, if I call something facile, yes, what kind of a thing is it? Facile. Let's see. This is from, yes, this is from Daffodils. Yes, okay, by Wordsworth. Daffodils. Yes, Abhilasha, correct, correct. Okay. So I deleted the last line from the stanza that actually gave it away that it was from Daffodils. That's why I deleted that. Oblivious, yes, lost in thought. Facile is something, if I say that's a very facile approach to this problem, I don't think this is going to solve it. That means it's a very superficial approach. It's a very superficial approach to this problem. All right. Ignoramus. When I call someone an ignoramus, ignoramus is a noun. Okay. if I say that when he came to this town, he was an ignoramus. An ignoramus. That means he was ignorant. Okay. He didn't have much knowledge. Okay. So ignoramus is just the noun form of the adjective ignorant. Right. So I hope this is clear to everybody. Not difficult words. Ruminative, thoughtful, reflective, introspective. All of these are pensive. Facile is something that is superficial. Okay. And ignoramus, yes, you could relate it to naive. Okay. Somebody who is naive. Somebody who is new to something. So a tyro, a fledgling, right? Somebody who's callow, again related words but not exact synonyms. Callow is young, inexperienced, and therefore naive also. So all these are related words. Fledgling means somebody who's just about to spread his or her wings, right? Who's about to learn to fly. Again, a new person, a naive person, right? Okay. So these were some words through this one, contextual vocabulary. The accompanying words also help you. Vacant or in pensive mood. So of course it's not a very happy mood. It's not a very sad mood either. And moreover, we are talking about the bliss of solitude. So it's not a very negative mood either. Right? Okay. Antonym again. Let's see. Reprobate. So this will tell me how many of you remember the words that we've done in our previous sessions. We discussed righteous and self-righteous both. Let's see. Newbie, yes. Noob, yes, Vicky. Noob is a slang, but yes, noob also works. Amateur. Amateur is, yes, somebody who dabbles in something, does not have knowledge of that thing. So, can I relate it to. Okay, you can say where it's related, but it's not a synonym. Not a synonym. Okay, rookie, yes, rookie. Good, Anuja. A-E, okay. Sonali says C. Snollygoster C. Harry A. Meg C. Okay, Chinta and Mamta say A. Rooster C. Panairo A. C. A. C. Okay, a lot of A's and C's I'm getting. Reprobate. Okay, so these two were close options. That's why I created them, of course. So reprobate. If I call someone a reprobate, okay, if I call someone a reprobate, that means this person is a very unprincipled person. Unprincipled person. Okay, lacking any morals, values, principles. So now self-righteous. Self-righteous means when you in a very show-offy manner consider that you are morally superior to others. Okay, you think that you are morally superior to others. So it has to do with moral superiority. Okay, it's a negative word. When you're a moral snob, okay, that's when someone can call you a self-righteous person. But you would probably still have you would have principles here, but I am using it in a negative context only. You would have principles, but I'm using the word in a negative context. Whereas while reprobate is a negative word, when I look for an antonym, I would look for a positive word. So principled is the word that I'm looking for. Self-righteous people, even though they might have some morals, of course, because that is why they believe that they are morally superior, it is still used in a negative sense. So C is much better than A. Okay. Now tell me the meanings of the other words. Censure, uh, reinvestigate, tergiversate. Tell me, tell me. Censure, reinvestigate, tergiversate. Tell me the meanings of these words. Come on. You heard these. Censure, I think I discussed with you. And I also discussed the difference between censure and censor. C-E-N-S-O-R and C-E-N-S-U-R-E. All right. So, Prateek, we know this already. Censor, to censor something. The censor board censors things, right? So, basically to place restrictions on it. To put restrictions on something. All right. Then when I say censure, censure, that is to criticize someone. That is to criticize someone. Censure is to criticize, to condemn. Absolutely. Anuja V. Parker, correct, correct. Tergiversate, no. Yes, Kashish. Tergiversate is somebody who changes sides. Remember, I told you this in the context of equivocate also. Equivocate. So this person basically equivocate does not take a clear stance. Yes. So equivocate and tergiversate are related words. Terjum means back. This came in IIFT. Tergiversate. The meaning of this word. Verse comes from word which means to turn. To turn back. So when you, let's say, go back on your words, when you switch sides, that's when you tergiversate. Okay. So verse comes from word which means to turn. You turn back on your words, on your political party, on your side. And it also means, another meaning is to equivocate, which means when you give conflicting statements. Okay. So tergiversate, equivocate are synonyms, and the other meaning is to change your loyalty altogether. एक, let's say, party से दूसरी party में चले जाना. That is tergiversating. Yes, to defect. Yes. In that case, in case you defect from one party to another, you are also called a renegade. When you defect from one party to another, you can also be called a renegade. Okay, have you heard this word? A sort of a, I mean, in the political language, a sort of a gaddar, right? Basically, you've deserted your party, you've betrayed them, right? So a traitor in that sense. But yes, when you change your allegiance, you can be called a renegade. Okay, hope this is clear. Words like tergiversate, equivocate, renegade, we have done these, some of these earlier. Now, reinvestigate is something that all of you know, nothing new here, right? So, okay, abandon a belief. Okay, so Poonam has some strong emotions about such people, right? Capricious. No, capricious is when your mood changes very quickly. Capricious is mercurial. When you are a mercurial person, when your mood changes very quickly, that is when you are capricious. It has to do with your emotions, right? All right, a turncoat, yes. All right, all right. Chalo, let's have a look at. I hope you've been enjoying the session. I mean, there is more to it. Please don't think that this is the last slide. If yes, then please go and press the like button. This is just a sort of a break for you, right? And you know the drill. If you have any friends who are preparing for any entrance exams, I think these vocabulary sessions will help them. Okay, so do share it with your friends. All right, let's look at a fill in the blank question now. Four blanks. Four blanks here. Let's see what you say. Capricious is fickle-minded. Yes, correct, correct, correct. So how have they started without the CET exam, Prateek? How is it that they've started their batch without taking CET? Sorry, I can't read the comments while this timer is on. You are with me for the next few minutes, next 20-25 minutes, okay? So keep that in mind. Don't think that the class is about to be over. We have some good questions coming up. It was a dash way to discuss current affairs. A few dash and dash from a handful of protesters were transformed into a debate about Boris's political dash. Right. So I think the easiest words that I see here are in the fourth blank: life, career, term, existence, even longevity. You must have heard of this word somewhere or the other. So on the basis of this, acha, so you are saying B, political career. All right. It was a ignoble. But look at this. It was a ignoble. Shouldn't it be an ignoble? I'm sorry, I keep bringing grammar in between vocabulary, but this is actually sometimes a very useful way of attempting your vocabulary questions. A good hack, so to say. So, this has to be eliminated. Ignoble does not make sense. Ignoble, yes, the opposite of noble. Something that is not noble. Okay, that is ignoble. Correct. So, actually, these words make sense, but because of this I'll have to eliminate B. So what else? What else then? Acha, so some of you are saying D now. D. I've also got A and C. Okay. So ridiculous, ludicrous. Okay, they are actually synonyms. Ludicrous means something that is ridiculously funny. It's on the funny spectrum, right? Something that is ridiculously absurd, ridiculously funny. Okay, so just a higher degree of ridiculous. So both make sense actually. Okay. Now his political term about raspberries booze. What are raspberries? What are raspberries? Yes, I know they're a fruit, but apart from that, do I use them in some other sense also? Yes, any other sense? Raspberries. When you basically boo your let's say boo a celebrity, okay, when you make these noises that convey your contempt for them, okay, these are called raspberries. Cat calls are also, so cat calls, raspberries, boos, they are synonymous in a way, right? So ridiculous, raspberries, boos and terms. Now coming to coming to D. So between C and D, which one do you think is a better fit? I've got A, C, D, all of them. Okay. Which one do you think? A few, see, they are protesters. A few groans and cat calls from a handful of protesters were transformed into a debate about Boris's political longevity. That means for how long he will stay in his office. Longevity here means that for how long he will stay in his office. So I am sure that when you saw these options, life could be eliminated and political existence also. Even if, let's say, you were doubtful about existence, through hysterical, it is a hysterical way. Hysterical again relates to something that's funny, okay, or something that borders on madness, hysteria. So this word becomes a little extreme for the first blank, right? Ludicrous, ridiculous, they fit better. Okay, so now raspberries and booze are essentially the same thing. They are essentially the same thing. Okay, just like cat calls, they are essentially the same thing. But when you say ludicrous, when you say groans, basically groans and cat calls. Groans, that they show that you hold a grudge. Cat calls, that you are expressing that you hold a grudge from a handful of protesters. Now, what is the debate about? The debate is not about his term. The debate is about how long he is going to stay. How is he going to complete that term or not? How long is he going to stay or not? Okay. So D, Delhi is the answer. A very, very nuanced difference. Okay. So this is an indeed a difficult question. Okay. And here these two could be easily eliminated. Noble does not fit. Ignoble because of right. Hysterical seemed a bit extreme. Okay. Also, with lampooning, I can't say a few. With lampooning, I can't say a few. Lampooning is uncountable. So again, using that, E could be eliminated. Between C and D, it was a very, very close call. Okay, very close call. Okay. The thing is that these two should be separate things, two different things. That is why I am using dash and dash, right? Otherwise, just one thing would have sufficed. So groans and cat calls, that fits better, and discussion about how long he will stay in his office. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Yes, D Delhi. All right, all right. Yes, we are talking about those boos only. Yes, to boo an opposite team. Yes. No, Pratik. I'm afraid I do not have an idea about this. I'll probably discuss it with my colleagues. And why don't you do this? You can put it in a Telegram group. We have a Telegram group wherein a lot of students and all of our faculty members are there. So just put this query there, okay? And you'll, of course, someone would respond, right? Raspberry again. When you make this noise, mm, like with this sort of a noise, okay, to show your contempt towards someone, that's a raspberry. Okay, so you make this noise with your tongue and your lips. Catcalls, to catcall someone. Again, to catcall someone, again to say derisive things about them, mean things about them, that is catcall. To boo your audience, I hope all of you know what boos are, right? So I hope now the words are clear to you. Yes? See, because raspberries and boos are essentially the same thing. They are essentially pretty similar. Okay. Groans and catcalls, they basically show that they hold a grudge and they are expressing that grudge. Also, the debate is not about his term. The term is in a democracy is fixed, right? The term for a government in a democracy is usually a fixed term. The debate is about whether they will be able to complete that term or not. How long will they stay? Okay, in their office, or how long will their career remain? That's the debate about, right? So that is why D is a better choice, contextually speaking. All right. Okay. Coming to our next question. Synonym question. Tell me. Synonym of rankle. Synonym of rankle. Let's see what you say. Synonym of rankle. Okay. All right. So I've got B's, C's. Okay, the timer is not running, it seems. Wait, just a second. The timer doesn't seem to be running. All right. But I've got my responses already. B and C. Okay. We had to give a synonym here, right? We had to give a synonym here. If something rattles you, if something rattles you, a rattle is a toy for children also, no, which you shake, right? It leaves you shaken. If something rattles you, it in a way shakes you. Okay. We say this, no, I am a little shaken up by that incident. Yes, by that horrifying incident. Pique is to annoy. Pique is to annoy. It's a verb again, it means to annoy. So when something rankles you, it's usually related to, comments or remarks that annoy you for a long, long time, long after they've been said. So that's when they rankle you, that's when they annoy you. This is the context in which I have read the word. Something that keeps annoying you for a long time. So rattle se better option hai B, peak. Okay. The better option here is B, Bangalore, because rattle, when something rattles you, it's more about, let's say you've witnessed something horrifying, okay, and that's why you're very nervous or worried about it. That is rattle. Okay. Annoyed comes out from peak. All right, so B is the answer. B and C were relatively close, but not that close as well. Now, let's look at these remaining words. Scold, all of us understand. There's nothing very difficult about it. Yes. Now, haggle, acrimony. Haggle, yes. To haggle with the vegetable vendor. She always haggled with the vegetable vendor for free lemons and coriander. Yes. So to haggle is to keep on bargaining continuously. It has a negative connotation. When someone haggles, that means they're continuously bargaining, right? Acrimony, yes. What is acrimony? Some snakes, yes. Rattle, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Acrimony. To rile up emotions is again when you provoke people. To rile up people's emotions is to provoke them, to basically make them annoyed about something, and that's how you provoke them. So to irritate, to provoke, to vex, to annoy, these are synonyms. Okay. Bitterness, yes. Anger, bitterness, that is acrimony. Correct, correct, correct. Anger and bitterness, that is acrimony. Anger, bitterness. Absolutely correct. Okay. So I have a little, because we were discussing Friends and Big Bang last time, I thought to include a clip from it. I mean, not a clip, an image from there. So, so Joey does not know a lot of vocabulary words, right? And once he's dating this really smart woman, Charlie, and she uses the word acrimonious. Acrimonious. So because he does not know the meaning, he just tries to fit it in different situations, right? So he tells her, if we want to grab a bite before work, we would better get acrimonious, right? And then Ross looks at him that, no, dude, you're using it wrong. So he says, no, am I getting close? At least tell me that. So, of course, he's not getting even close. Acrimonious is angry and bitter. Angry and bitter. Okay. All right. So, I think now you'll remember acrimony and acrimonious. Look at this contextual vocabulary question now. Contextual vocabulary. There is a sentence where a word has been underlined. Yes. Tell me the answer. Ample time. I think I've given you 40 seconds for this. So there's some homework for you from this that stems from this question. I want you to find out about the origin of sophistry. Okay, so I'll wrap up in a while. Just let me just tell you how many questions are left. There are three more questions to go. Okay, three more questions. Let's wrap them up in the next 5 minutes. Okay, we'll try to be quick. Okay, so this is your homework. You will tell me in the next class, okay, tomorrow or whenever the next cat and other MBA exam class happens, you will tell me the meaning of sophistry. The origin of sophistry. Meaning, I am telling you. Okay, you have to tell me its etymology. Okay, there's a very interesting etymology that sophistry has, and some of you said A, but very few of you answered. Come on, what has happened? Acha, okay. A, E also I've got, but A is the answer. It's a fallacious. Fallacious means false. It's a false or flawed argument, right? Just when she might have begun to see through, she is now able to finally see them for what they really are. See through his academic arguments as sophistry, the tragedy had occurred. That means something bad had happened because of his arguments, right? So, a flawed, false argument, an unsound argument, that is the answer. Cogent means highly logical, a sound argument, okay? Eloquent and emotionally appealing argument. So this cannot be the answer. Eloquent, cogent, positive words. Facetious, we did this word in our previous classes. Yes, facetious. Being jocular, being funny at the expense of someone. A casuistic argument. A casuistic argument. Okay, my bad. I should not have actually. No, wait. Sorry, the answer is not A. The answer is C. The answer is C. Sorry. So fallacious. While this is very close, okay. Casuistic is the answer here. Casuistic is the answer here. Why? Because sophistry किस type की argument होती है? That argument that Essentially it is false, essentially it is flawed, but it is so deceptive that when you look at it, it will appear sound to you, it will appear correct to you if you just look at it superficially. So casuistic is the perfect synonym for sophistry. Casuistry is the perfect synonym for sophistry. Okay, it also means something that looks like it's correct, but when you dig deeper, you find that it is deceptive. Fallacious means false, flawed. Okay, so ये normal आपकी जो भी flawed arguments होती हैं, they are fallacious arguments. This one is difficult to see through. That's why C. That's why C. Okay. So I am sorry that today there are so many close options, yes, but I think that we need to prepare you for difficult vocabulary questions also and not just easy questions, okay? So while A and C are very close, highly close, C is the perfect fit because it's not just false, it's not just fallacious, it is also deceptive to make you think that it is right, okay? Hence C. Okay. So sometimes I make difficult questions and then I wonder why I chose a particular option later on, right? Okay. Coming to the next question, common confusables, very easy. He agreed to her request without dash. He agreed to her request without dash. Let's see who does this in the time frame, in the time constraint. A very easy common confusable. He agreed to her request without dash. I think protest fits here, absolutely, yes. So protest fits here. You just have to now confirm whether B fits here or not. So what do you think? Yes. Okay, Vicky, all right. That's the case. When you know you have a lot of confidence minus the knowledge, that's when it happens, Vicky. What you were talking about. D, E. Okay. E is the answer. E. Both B and C. Both B and C. Deemer as a noun means protest. As a noun, it means protest. It is also used as a verb. When you deemer, you protest against something. Protest against something. Right? So deemer, demure. Demure is used. It's actually an adjective that's a little sexist. It means shy, modest. It's used particularly for women. Okay, demure. So demure is an adjective. It does not fit here at all. Demur is to protest. These words are commonly confused with each other. Demur and protest, because they mean the same, both fit here. There is no such word as demurring. This was just to confuse you. No such word. ठीक है? All right, odd one out. Interesting question. Odd one out. Interesting question. All right. Let's see what the answer should be. Odd one out. So this one is a relatively tricky question. Okay. I'll not mince my words. Now, this actually comes from ecstasy is the height of pleasure, agony is the height of pain, right? The other Gupta teacher, Gaurav sir's class it is. All right. Just wrapping up. Acha, okay, let's make it the last question for the day, right? Odd one out. Now, in this, you have to tell me which one is not related, and I am already telling you that this is relatively tricky. So let me see who knows this. This will tell me how much science you know. Although this is outdated science, but still it's science. All right. 5 is what you say. Very good. So how did you figure out that it's 5? Stall it. Yes. 5 is the answer, but how did you figure this out? Have we discussed this earlier? I thought I had made a difficult question. So this comes from the 4 humor theory. So initially in medicine, when science was not as developed, it was believed that all our moods, our temperaments, they are affected by our physical bodily fluids, basically, right? They are affected by fluids. So it was believed that our body has 4 major fluids: blood, black bile, yellow bile, and later on it was discovered that there's nothing like black bile in our body. Okay. And the other was, last one was phlegm, right? So these fluids, if they were not in balance, they were responsible for one of these particular dispositions or moods. Sanguine, excess of blood. That then you will be a very optimistic person. Okay, there's excess of blood in your body. Okay, so it's a good thing actually. Black bile, if this becomes in excess, it was also called melancholia, melancholias or melancholia. Then you will be sad. You will be melancholic. Okay, and if yellow bile got it became in excess, our body does have bile juice, yellow bile, but it's very different from the bile that as they understood it. Then you'll be very irritated, you'll have a choleric mood, irritated. And if phlegm is basically the mucus, our mucous membranes produce this green substance, right? That is phlegm. If that is in excess, then you will become phlegmatic. Phlegmatic is simply, you become very calm and unemotional at the same time. Calm and unemotional at the same time. So that is phlegmatic. Okay, stolid is a synonym, but it was not a part of the four humor theory. Stolid, even though it's a synonym of phlegmatic, because it was not a part of the four humor theory, that is why it is the odd one out here. Okay, so Sarthak, I hope I've given you the trick, and here's a picture to cement the trick. So these are the various moods. See, this person looks a bit irritated, right? Choleric mood. Yes, this person looks sad, melancholic. This person thoda sa to muskura raha hai, right? A bit smiling a little, sanguine. And this person, it's very hard to decipher his feelings. So calm and composed. So this person is phlegmatic, right? Cholera, yes, it became related to diseases from that. Correct, correct. So you know what? Last year I took some sessions, words based on Greek mythology, words that have come from, let's say, the names of people, eponyms. Those sessions are still available. If you go to my playlist, you'll find those 4 or 5 sessions there. In case you have the time, in case words fascinate you, you would want to know their story and their meanings, of course, then you can watch those sessions. I'm sure that they will also add about 150 words to your repertoire. Okay, so that can be done. And I hope you enjoyed the session. Now you can go and watch the other Gupta sir session, right? And in case you liked it, then do press the like button. Okay. And I hope I took sufficient pauses while speaking today. Last time someone mentioned that I need to breathe. I hope I have been breathing enough, right? So I'll see you next time then. Bye. And yes, these are our toppers for CAT 2021. Okay, they've made it to the ABCs and also one of them has made it to K. Okay, if you want to also follow the same path, then this is the program for you, right? This is what it offers, quite a few things. And if you want more details, you can call up our counselors. You can connect with us on this Telegram channel. So Pratik, you can post your doubts here and I'm sure our faculty members will respond. Okay. Welcome, welcome all of you. Welcome Sanil. Uh, Great. I am very happy to know this, right? And I learn a lot every time I teach you, okay? Because there are so many words whose etymology I do not know yet, right? English is an ocean, vocabulary is an ocean. So whenever I teach you, I also learn a lot of new things, okay? Previous year questions, yes, we will have sessions on that, Ashwarya. This is July, right? So July and August beginning, that is what we'll be doing, okay? Bye. You do take care.